guys, welcome back to another episode of Open Banter Avenue. So today I'm joined by my very good friend, Pasi Amayo. Pasi, karibu.
Asante, asante.
Yes. So today we're going to discuss about a topic that I think it will be relevant to most people, especially during this time. And as we all know, there's an outbreak of this virus known as coronavirus or COVID-19. And with this, there has been several directives that different governments have issued all over the world. And this include stay-at-home directives. And also we have quarantine. Some cities are on total lockdown. And with these directives, people find that they have a lot of time on their hands. And most of this time is spent at home. So today we're going to discuss some of the activities that people can engage in during this lockdown, because we find that some people are not able to work from home. So they find that they're home and they have a lot of time that they're not used to. And for that, Pasi is going to share some of his views and thoughts on these activities. And we're going to just chat and see what we come up with. So Pasi, please give me your take on the state of affairs in this world of COVID-19. What's your take on all these directives that have been issued?
Okay. Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome.
I forgot to say hi at the beginning. So the moment you said welcome, Pasi, that was the moment I would have said hi. So hi, everyone.
Yes, you can still say hi.
I was thinking through a lot of things.
Okay.
Something just before I give my perspective. I've always wondered what COVID-19 stands for.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know?
I've got no idea. What does it stand for?
It's okay. Because I also just found out a couple of minutes ago that it actually stands for Coronavirus Disease 2019. So that's why there's a 19 at the end.
2019.
So COVID. Yes, because that's the year it was discovered, or the year it became a pandemic or something. So COVID-19. Just wanted to throw that out there.
we learn new things every day.
Yes, and then over time, people are now calling it Rona. So people are not really calling it coronavirus or COVID, but
there's Rona. I've had
referring to that Rona. So I don't know, but with times things are changing. But you said, what's my take on the state of the world?
State of affairs
so I'm going to keep it state of affairs in the world when it comes to coronavirus. I mean, as the days are going by, there's this feeling, okay, I speak for myself, there's this feeling that things are starting to normalize and get back to normal, because I don't know, I got the opportunity of going to town last week, and my goodness, people were outside in town, people are doing, so I got the sense that things are getting back to normal. Also, traffic is said to be coming back. So it seems like things are going back to normal. But even so, you still see that the numbers are increasing, and you keep seeing the news, different things are happening all over the world when it comes to the COVID situation. So for me, it's a mixture of normalcy is coming back, but I'm still shocked at the fact that we had to go through this unprecedented affair or situation globally, and it's trickled down to the national place. I think states are still struggling to figure out how they are going to respond to it. But also what I see happening globally right now is states are beginning to think about how they can have a better response. I mean, the Secretary General of the United Nations is talking about building back better. This basically means we cannot go back to business as usual, commuting and, manufacturing and consuming goods and services just anyhow. We need to find a more sustainable way of building back better after the COVID-19. So a lot of the discussions going on will probably promote greener practices, sustainable practices, things that will not take us back to emitting carbon as much as we were. But having said that, we're still looking forward to a treatment for this pandemic. a treatment hasn't been found. I mean, I was following news in Tanzania about this COVID organics,
Yeah.
which is a tonic juice of some sort that has been created by Madagascar.
Yeah.
And, you know, the way President Magufuli was talking about um, importing some of this tonic juice. And there are other countries like Guinea-Bissau that have already received a shipment to just kind of test what this is like. I mean, of course, WHO has warned that there hasn't been any proven cure for COVID-19, but these are some of the interesting things that are happening throughout the world. Just this morning, I saw some, I don't know, I'm not sure if it was CNN or BBC, I'll confirm this, that now this COVID can actually be sexually transmitted
Yeah,
because
I saw that. Yeah.
lab technicians, yeah. So as the days go by, we're learning new things about this, and it's interesting because this is something we've never known about. Not a lot of research had been done on it, so I'm looking forward to finding out more as the days go by. But I think we need to be cautious. This doesn't mean that we stop wearing our masks, washing our
Yeah.
hands, and just keeping our social distance. That has to
True, true.
continue.
Yeah, true. And I think as much as people are just getting back to doing their business as usual, we still need to take precaution because the government's position is that this thing is still there and people are advised to just stay at home, have your mask, wash hands, and practice social distancing. So I think that is important to note that it's still not business as usual as much as we're hoping that things get back to normal as soon as possible. Yes, so now most people are at home and some people are not able to work online or basically work from home. So what are some of the activities that people can engage in while at home during this period?
You know, that's a very interesting question, Dan.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's not even just people who are not able to work from home or online.
Mm-hmm.
Life has changed completely.
Yeah.
Businesses have closed. People who are the majority who used to go to the market to sell goods no longer can sell, you know, their goods the way they used to. So you find like businesses are closed.
Yeah.
People are no longer going to hustle. You know, I was talking to a lady here whose job was to go and clean clothes and get payment for that to be able to feed her kids, but that's not happening anymore.
Yeah.
On top of that, kids are not going to school, kids are at home. So that has added on to the fact that you have to stay at home. The kids are at home. You're also at home. So there's a lot of things that have changed and that are happening, and that even many people don't know how to address. On top of this, there are people who have come up with initiatives, of course, to help those people who can't help themselves. Because, you know, we do have vulnerable populations, people who live under $1 per day or even just on 100 shillings per day. How are those people being helped now that they cannot go and hustle? I mean, just to highlight an initiative that was started by Ms. Jeroti Say, it's called Humanity KE, where she uses her Twitter and online platforms to ask people who can to donate, I think 2,000, 4,000, and this is then sent to vulnerable families. Just for accountability purposes, people who are in need of this financing actually reach out to her, and her people are able to help vulnerable, you know, families. So there are families who are at home, they're not making any money, their children are not going to school, they don't have means to feed themselves, and they don't even have access to the internet. So there's that group of people.
Yeah.
And then there's the group of people who obviously are more privileged, have access to internet, they can watch the news, they're just at home chilling. You know, what can you do to get away from the boredom? I mean, I'm not an expert, I always say this, but I'm just saying what I'm doing and what I know other people are doing. And I'm going to link it to about 4 things. Bonding better, planning together, and personal development. I'll just, you know, categorize it in 3. And I'll repeat again: bonding better, planning together, and personal development. So number 1, when I talk about bonding better, you're at home, you're with your relations, you're with yourself, you know, you need to cultivate activities that enable you to bond better. So I see people having more conversations with each other. I've seen people who have bought educative games that they can now play with their children. In the process of teaching them, they're also getting to bond with them. So one-on-one bonding with your kids. I've seen adults who are engaging in board games. And also something that's very interesting for the people who have access to internet is that people are actually engaging on games online. So if Dan, you're online and I'm online, there are actually games, mind games, board games, fighting games, name it, that people are doing online just to keep them away from being idle, but also feeling like you're doing something together with other people, even though you're not physically present together. So there's that. And while I'm on that, for people who like environment, the UN Environment have created an online educative platform. It's called Art School, where if you have access to the internet, you can just go to UNEP, type Art School, and you can be able to give that to your children to engage, to learn how to plant trees or learn about carbon dioxide, name it, and it's fun. So those are some of the activities you can engage with you and your kids. So bonding better, and even your spouse or with yourself. Number two, planning together. The day has only 24 hours. If you do not plan with yourself and together with the people that you're living with, the time will just run out. So you need to allocate different times for different things. So if it's working from home, you need working time. If it's playtime for the kids, there needs to be playtime, and the kids need to be able to understand that. If it's learning from home and online schooling, like I hear is happening, there has to be time for that. If it's cooking, cleaning, name it, you have to be able to plan together. So that's number two. And number three, which for me is very important, is personal development. You have a lot of time. For those who, as dancers, we have a lot of time. This is the time to pick up that book. If you've always wanted to know how to lead, pick up a book, read how to lead. If you're always wanted to know how to garden, start teaching yourself how to garden. If you've always wanted to set up a business, this is the time to start learning, how can I set up a business? If you have bad financial skills, you know how to manage your money, this is the time to learn how can I save? How can I invest? What does it mean to buy shares, among other things? So you have a lot of time for personal development right now. I know people who are learning a new language. I know Harvard University is offering free online courses. This is the time to jump in and take that course that you wouldn't otherwise be able to afford, or wasn't being offered before, right?
It's interesting that you've mentioned that, and learning a new language. There are several apps that people can use as well, which are free. So I think this is the best time to pick up a course, just learn a new language. The app is known as there's Memrise, there's Babel, and then there's some other app that you can use to learn different languages. So I think this is the time that you can pick up a language that you've always wanted to learn. Can you go ahead?
Yeah. So it's you've got time to do all these things. Another thing is hacks. Oh my god, and this is my hobby. I just go onto YouTube and I learn how to hack a lot of things, like how to arrange clothes better on the closet, or how to use plastic bottles to garden or plant herbs, name it. There's a lot of hacks on YouTube that are also fun. So you're learning, but you're also engaging yourself. I know people on Pinterest every day. There are different hacks on Pinterest. This is the time to join. So I mean, there's a lot of activities you could do.
Yeah, there's so much, and I also think this is the right time to declutter. You can declutter your home. I mean, just sort things out, see what you need, what you do not need. Just give them away. You can also declutter your digital space, because I'm sure you have some files that you don't use. You have some photos that I think you took 30 or so years back. And you just need to arrange your digital space. Just put your files in order and I think it's a good time to reset and just have things in order. And as you mentioned earlier, it's also the perfect time to just learn a new skill. You can listen to podcasts. You can listen to, I mean, you can watch movies, you can watch documentaries. There's a lot happening online. If you have internet, then you have access to so much. Something else is fitness. WHO recommends at least 30 minutes a day of physical workout. So you can have a fitness routine. You can go to YouTube. We have a lot of um, fitness instructors that are offering their courses for free. We also have an app. It's known as Seven. Seven has different workout routines that people can engage in. So yeah, so I think that there's a lot. You can come up with a playlist of the music that you love. You can come up with different playlists. Maybe each day you have a playlist of something because you have a lot of time. So you can do a lot. So for you, what usually what is your day like? How do you like start your day?
Okay. My day starts. Okay. No. Let me start that again.
Mhm.
I think every single day starts different for me.
Yeah.
So I can't say every day is the same. Yeah.
Okay.
But having said that, I find that having a plan for my day usually helps.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you guys how I do it. So I have a weekly planner. So my weekly planner, tomorrow, which is Sunday, is when I usually sit down and I'm like, okay, what's my week going to look like? And just in case you're shukuing this is what my weekly planner looks like. So
Okay.
I do have a weekly planner.
Yes.
So in
Yes.
my planner is divided into days. So
Days. Yeah.
inside the planner, you actually have 7 days. So for each day, I will write down what I intend to do that whole week and that whole day, right?
Yeah.
That's how I get to. So if I intend to do a morning devotion for those who
Mhm.
are Christians or
Yeah.
Muslims or
Mhm.
religious, I
Mhm.
have that moment when I wake up. The first thing I do
Yeah.
is just, whisper a prayer, I'll read a verse, and, I'm motivated to start my day. One thing that I avoid to do early in the morning when I've just opened my eyes is to go online immediately and start perusing through the news, because these unprecedented times come with negative news all the time. So you definitely don't want to start your day knowing how many people have died where or who's suffering where. It's good to be informed, but not early in the morning, because you need to kickstart your day in a positive way. So that's for me. And I'll list down all the things I need to do, and I'll list down the major tasks. I challenge myself, the things I've written I'm going to do on Monday, how many of these can I accomplish? What I cannot accomplish, I move to the next day or to the next week. And that's how it goes for me. Also, I'm working, and I know there's so many people who are working from home. Our new normal has become webinars. So I'm constantly receiving invitations to join this webinar or that webinar. It
Yeah.
gets frustrating for those people who are like me. So
Yeah.
you also have to shift to kind of say, this is the webinar I want to join, and this is the one I don't want to join. Because if you join all those webinars in one day, your day will pass by. You won't have time to cook, you won't have time to bond, you won't have time to exercise. So you have to be able to filter, what can I and can I not do? So that's how it works for me. And at the end of the day, I use most of my day to complete the major tasks. As
Yeah.
the day is coming to an end and my mind is tired and my body is also tired, that's time when I just want to chill, relax. So that playlist that Dan was talking about comes in handy when I'm just chilling and trying to, reflect upon the day. At some point in the day when I get stressed by something or some
Yeah.
information I've gotten, I will always switch on, a fun danceable song like Jerusalema, and I will
Yeah.
dance, dance, dance for 3 minutes. My heart will beat a little bit, my blood
Yeah.
is pumping, and I'm
Mhm.
ready to go back to work. That's how my day goes. And I always spare time for making phone calls, checking
Yeah.
up on someone once in a while, going and grabbing, my daily dose of water, and
Mm.
obviously going outside, getting that sunshine, taking a walk to the local kiosk and back. Dan, you
Mhm.
said something very important about ensuring we exercise for at least 30 minutes a day. I want to just emphasize that that is extremely important. And why am I saying this? There are countries that are on lockdown.
Yeah.
Yani, you can't go outside and you do not have enough space in your house to exercise unless, for majority or for some
Yeah.
people I know who are
Mhm.
out there who are locked in their homes. We are lucky because we are not locked down yet. We just have a curfew and we are
Yes.
advised to keep social distance.
Mhm.
Take advantage of it. Take that jog, take that walk. If you can hike, go to Ngong Hills, go do it. There's fresh air, it's not crowded, so you're still maintaining social distancing. Let's
Exactly. Yeah.
appreciate that now, especially now that there are rumors that the numbers are increasing, CG 30 cases
Yeah.
per day.
Yeah. Mhm.
This is the time you really want to take advantage of the fresh air before you're locked into your house indefinitely. Yeah. So that's me done. I don't know
Okay.
what's your day like, if you want to tell us.
My day. I mean, each day has its own routine, but of course, there are things that generic for all the days. So for me, when I wake up, basically, I write down my plan for the day. So basically, once I wake up, there are some words. There are some words of affirmation that I tell myself so that I get into the right space before I start the day. And then basically, I'll make breakfast, then get into some audio. I'm doing some audio, learning some audio production stuff, do that for an hour, then get into my workout for another hour or an hour and a half. Then from there, I can now listen to a podcast. I can just check some emails. And also, I'm trying to just write down um, uh, what do you call this? I'm trying to write, there's this event planning tips that I can be able to share with the people after all this is over. So I try collect all my thoughts together and put them into something that makes sense, something that can be offered as a course. So basically, for me, each day is different. I don't start my day without writing the activities for the day so that it's clear to me and I can also keep track of what I achieved and what I have not achieved for that particular day. So I'll share more details in the next episode of what goes on during my day. So now that you've mentioned all these activities that you can engage in, how can we
Mm-hmm.
efficiently manage our time? Because we've mentioned a lot of activities, and I'm sure somebody might be wondering how do you effectively manage the time that you have with all these activities.
I think, Dan, that for me just goes back to the previous question, and it's planning.
Yes.
You plan how you're going to spend your day and stick to kind of the time frames you've put for different activities. I feel like if you have a vision of how your week, your day is gonna be, you're gonna be able to manage your time well. If you just wake up, you don't know what you're going to do today,
Yes.
the day will just come and go,
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you put it down and say, these are the things I hope to achieve today, even if it's not like a serious thing like learning how to
Yeah.
do audio edits like Dan,
Yeah.
or joining a webinar, even if it's just knowing what time I'm going to cook, what time do I
Yeah.
want to have lunch, dinner, breakfast,
It's
am I
important.
going
Yeah.
to shop today, or stock my house, what time do you want to go do that? If you don't plan even your time, curfew will find you at
Yeah.
7 p.m.
Mhm.
who hauna nyanya kwa nyumba,
Yes.
no tomatoes. So you're like, but if you planned well, I
Yeah.
need to go to buy veggies, I need to cook at this time, I need to my kids, or I need to even shower.
Yeah.
So, planning. Planning
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
for me how I manage my time and avoid procrastinating or wasting time at all.
I think I agree with you 100%. Planning is key, and this helps you so that you're not overdoing some things. Because you can be watching a movie or a series. If you don't plan your day, you'll find that you're watching this series for maybe 5 hours nonstop. So if you decide I'm going to watch my series for an hour, after the hour you need to stop and do something else, so that you're not overdoing some things and you lack time to do others. So I think planning is key, and just give time to all the activities and break them down. I think that's the only way, because you find that
True.
you're overdoing some stuff, and some of the
Yeah.
things you'll not be able to do.
Yeah. And then just before you go on to the next question,
Yes.
just the point you said about watching a series or a movie. I remember when Money Heist came out.
Yes.
Huh. You know, there was a lot of
Had
excitement around
had to
watching
had to
Money Heist,
resist. Eh?
for
Yeah.
Nairobi, for Nairobi.
Yeah.
I sat down and
Mhm.
watched the entire series
The entire
back
series.
to back.
Wow. Are you?
By the
Ah,
time I was
wait.
done,
Wait. You watched a whole. What do you mean? A whole season back to back?
the whole season, back to
Wow.
back. And let
Okay.
me tell you, learn from other people's experience. That's the
Yeah.
lesson I learned. And I
Yeah.
taught myself. I regretted the amount of time I
Mhm.
wasted that weekend. Obviously, I wasn't watching it during working hours. My
Yeah.
my colleagues, forgive me if you see this. I was not watching on working hours. It was during the weekend.
A
Yeah,
disclaimer. Yeah.
that weekend just that weekend just left. I wanted to garden. I was to do shopping. I mean, I was alone at the time, but I never got anything done. So you want to also exercise self-control. So time management also
Important.
comes with self-control.
It's
So you just
important.
know, if my target today is to watch one episode,
Mhm.
my friend, by the time one episode is done, even if it's ended with the juiciest, part, you just want to know what
Yeah.
happens next. Just say,
Yeah.
this is it until the next
Yeah.
time.
Exactly. You just need to stop and move on to something else. And
Stop
not
and move on.
you mentioned earlier that you have a planner. For people
Yes.
who do not want to keep a physical planner, there's an app, and it's also web based. It's known as Trello. Trello is basically a digital planner. You can break down your tasks and have them in a list, and you can be able to check what you've done for the day, what you've done for the day. So if you don't want to keep a physical planner, there is Trello. Please use it. It will help you manage your time better. So Percy, now that we have all these activities, we already know how we can manage our time. How do we keep motivated? How do we stay motivated to just do all these activities? Sometimes we lack
Um,
motivation. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. And motivation will go. You feel discouraged at times,
Yeah.
you'll be depressed. You
Yes.
just, the days you will just want to sleep and do nothing. And then there are those nights when you can't sleep,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what to do? And because I have personally experienced each and every single one of these, maybe for me, it's just sharing how I do it because,
Yeah.
we learn from each other. For me, I switch off the news. I'm sorry. It's gotten to a point where I can't, my brain, it's just said enough is enough. I don't understand what is being reported. So I just keep off the negative energy. I mean, from
Mm.
time to time, I will switch on and just see, oh, okay, that's what happened. Oh, stima imepotea. It's countrywide.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, oh, okay, now we know there wasn't any power in Kenya nationwide and in Uganda as well. Oh, Moses Kuria is missing. True or false? We don't know. Just snippets of what's going on. But I won't actually sit for 2 hours, 3 hours. I'm just glued to negative energy and negative news. No, switch off that news. Just switch it off and use that time to do what you need to do or
Mhm.
do what you love to do. So
Yeah.
keep off the negative energy.
Mhm.
That keeps me motivated. It keeps
Yeah.
me less anxious. I'm less scared. I'm not
True.
discouraged. I'm
Mhm.
just flowing with my day. And with
Yeah.
that, activate positivity and positive
Yes,
thoughts.
yes,
So
that
if
that
it's
that
that
works. It
self,
always works.
yeah, if it's that self-proclamation, I mean, I remember
Yes.
some years back, and I think this back, I used to stand by the mirror and just tell myself, "You're beautiful, you're confident, you're
Yes, yes,
courageous, you're bold." You know, those things you tell yourself, and you're like, "Yes,
yeah,
I'm confident." You're
yes,
speaking
yes, it's
positivity to your life, speaking,
mm-hmm.
you know, positive vibe to yourself. You will
Yes,
also generate positivity towards you, because what you exude is what comes back to you, right? So
true.
if your child sees you're positive, you're happy, they will respond that way. But if you're grumpy, discouraged, scared, the energy you exude is the one that they will exude. So activate positivity and you will keep motivated. But and also challenges will come throughout the day.
Yeah,
Some people are not working, don't have the money. Financial challenges are there.
yeah,
Relationship challenges are there. We spoke about this in the other open banter,
yeah,
and we keep seeing situations where relationships are falling apart and people can no longer, those challenges are there. Health wise, people are getting sick every single day, even just not from corona. It can be anything. It can be headache, it can be stomach ache, it can be some terminal illness that you're managing. The problems will always come.
yeah,
But I always tell myself, focus on the solutions and not on the problem. Don't drown yourself in the problem. Always look for a solution. So if it's that
true.
financial problem, begin to think, how can I solve this problem that I have right now? Who can I call to help me? How can I get assistance? How can I go to get medicine or go to focus on the solution and not on the problem? That keeps me motivated all the time. And then music works magic for me. And
Yeah,
there's something about the kind of music that I listen to, and I always try to share what I listen to through my social media platforms. I listen to music that have messages, you know.
yeah,
So for example, this week on Wednesday, when I was feeling really, really down, I couldn't sleep, I just switched on my Tyrus Riley list of songs, and I listened to Stronger. He has a song called Stronger. He has a song called Nobody Knows. He has Never Leave I. You know,
yeah.
these are songs that speak messages of encouragement and motivation to me. So find the right songs, because the kind of music you take in also influence the kind of emotions you have.
Very true.
And then finally, do what you
Finally,
love. That will
yes.
motivate you to go away. Thanks.
Cool. That summarizes it all. And you mentioned this daily proclamations or affirmations. I mean, it keeps you in the right mood to begin your day. And also something else that works for me, especially when it comes to workout. You can have your friend involved or your kids involved so that it keeps you in check. Personally, what I do, I change. I dress up for my workout. I put on my tracks, put on my shoes, and I'm good to go. Because once I'm fully dressed, then it just means I have to work out. So just find different ways that works for you. You can involve your colleagues, involve someone so that you're accountable to them, and also just break down the tasks. Start slowly and build the intensity so that you're not biting a lot that more than you can chew. So just start slowly, and that way you'll be motivated. And also, if you set goals, it keeps you motivated because if you achieve one today, then it gives you a sense of accomplishment, and you'd want to do more. And lastly, I just want to say it's been a roller coaster ride. Sometimes you're high, sometimes you're low. But personally, I think first people need to accept, just change your mindset, accept that this is the new normal. Because I think some people are in denial. They're like, this is not happening. So if you change your mindset and accept that this is the new world that you live in, and from there you're able to now looking at how you're able to cope. If it's business wise, you're able to see how can I turn this around. So that would be the first step for me. And then because there's this saying that says if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. So basically, for me, that's how I do it. Cool. So Pasi, I think we'll end it here. Thank you so much for joining me
Yes, thank
in
you, Dan.
in another episode. You're welcome. And it's always nice having you for this open banter. So I hope you'll be able to join me again in the next episode.
I sure hope so. And I'm looking forward to be joined by other people as well. And,
Yes,
just
definitely.
comment below, tell us how
Yes,
you're coping, what activities you're doing,
yes.
and subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up if you like this discussion.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you in the next episode. All right. Bye-bye.